One summer morning, the Fat Controller came to see Thomas at Timber's sheds. "Thomas, I need you to collect some pipes and take them to the wharf," he said sternly. "Yes, sir," said Thomas, and he puffed happily away to collect his pipes. On the way, Thomas passed the Sodor Scottish Castle. Then he puffed through Shen Valley, and then he puffed happily down Gordon's Hill. Thomas was having a wonderful day. Thomas arrived at the wharf where Skarloey and the workmen were waiting. Thomas blew a happy whistle to say hello to Skarloey, but Skarloey wasn't happy at all. He looked upset. "What's wrong, Skarloey?" asked Thomas. "I'm bored," said Skarloey. "I see the same old sights every day. I never see anything new. I want to see something different." Thomas felt sorry for Skarloey. He wanted to help, but wasn't sure what. Then Thomas had a thought. Mr. Percival was nearby. Thomas decided to ask him. "Please, sir," said Thomas, "can I take Skarloey for a big trip today?" He told Mr. Percival about Skarloey's problem. Mr. Percival thought that was a good idea. "Of course, Thomas," said Mr. Percival. "New sights and scenes will help Skarloey clear his thoughts." "Thank you, sir," said Thomas happily. Soon Skarloey was loaded onto a flatbed, but Skarloey was worried. He felt really scared. "Don't worry about your work, Skarloey," said Mr. Percival. "I shall get Duke to take care of your work. Now you have fun today and enjoy yourself." "I'll try, sir," said Skarloey, but he felt scared. "Don't worry, Skarloey," said Thomas. "I'll take care of you. Now, let's turn that frown upside down and have fun." And Thomas puffed away out of the wharf. They puffed down the main line and turned onto a branch line. Thomas and Skarloey went through farms and villages until they arrived at the Sodor Scottish Castle. Skarloey gasped. "That is Lord Callan's castle," said Thomas happily. "Wow," said Skarloey happily. "That's even bigger than our castle." "It's very special to Donald and Douglas," said Thomas, and he told Skarloey all about the deputation. Then, as they puffed through Shen Valley, Thomas told Skarloey about the time he had puffed on his own and had crashed into the station master's house. "I got into big trouble then," said Thomas. "Oh dear," said Skarloey. "What a pity the station master didn't use your water in your tanks to make a cup of tea." Thomas didn't think that was funny. He thought Skarloey was being silly. Then they puffed through the fishing village. "Ah," said Skarloey, "that stinks." "I know," said Thomas, "but Arthur loves it." And he told Skarloey about Arthur's spotless record. Then, as they puffed up Gordon's Hill, Thomas told Skarloey about the time Gordon got stuck for the very first time and had to have Edward help him out. But neither of them knew that the coupling on the truck was creaking and groaning. "I bet Gordon never forgets it," said Skarloey. "Not as long as he keeps getting stuck on the hill," said Thomas. Then there was trouble. The coupling on the flatbed broke, and Skarloey rolled backwards down the hill. "Help!" he shouted as he raced backwards into a siding. "No!" Ouch! Luckily, no one was hurt, but Skarloey was in a shock. Thomas raced back to the siding as fast as he could. "Oh no," said Thomas worryingly. "Are you alright, Skarloey? I guess I wasn't keeping an eye on the coupling." "Don't worry, Thomas," said Skarloey. "I'm fine." Thomas felt worried. He felt pleased Skarloey was alright, but he wasn't sure what to do now. "I want to go home," said Skarloey. "Please take me back to the wharf." Soon, Thomas was coupled up onto the flatbed, and Thomas pulled Skarloey out of the siding and headed back home towards the wharf. But on the way, Thomas had to stop at a signal. Then Skarloey gasped. He saw in the distance the beautiful seaside. There were children eating ice creams, donkeys giving rides, and there were lots of children building sandcastles. Skarloey looked at the glowing sea. "It's beautiful," said Skarloey happily. "We don't have a seaside in the hills." Skarloey was so happy he thought his pistons would pop. Thomas was impressed. "I see the seaside every day," said Thomas. Then Skarloey had a change of heart. "Actually, let's visit one more place before we go back," he suggested. Thomas agreed. Thomas took Skarloey to Rocky's warehouse. Rocky the giant crane was there. "Skarloey," said Thomas, "I'd like you to meet Rocky." Skarloey was impressed. "Hello, Rocky," he called. "Hello, Skarloey," said Rocky. "What are you doing here?" Skarloey told Rocky all about his big day out and what Thomas had shown him. "I was bored this morning because I saw the same old sights every day and I wanted to see something new." Rocky smiled. "Sometimes seeing the same things can be boring, but you just have to keep an eye out for new things every day," said Rocky. "Sometimes I see the same old things at the warehouses, but I always keep a lookout for new things." "You see, there are new things to look for every day," said Thomas happily. "Thank you, Thomas," said Skarloey. "Thank you, Rocky. From now on, if I ever feel bored of seeing the same old things, I will always keep a lookout for something new." Thomas and Rocky felt very happy, and Skarloey had learnt that sometimes keeping an eye out for new things every day can be just as fun as having a big day out.